Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is gonna be a very cool video, especially for my beginners. So as you can see here, we're gonna get straight into it. On my left hand side, we have the handmade fan trays, and I think I'm gonna be working with a length of 12 and a zero 0.5. Don't quote me yet until I see it again. And then on my right hand, we have the rapid fans, okay? So there's a huge difference, especially if you're getting into making handmade fans or if it's something that you don't know. Okay, so what I'm doing here is just brushing through them. As you can see in my right hand with the rabbit fans, the base of it is very much thicker. That's because the strip line is all adhesive, so that's what makes it, a rapid fan, that base is going to be completely adhesive. So once we blossom it up, and you'll see once I do it, that it's going to be automatically turned into a fan. So I'm just shaking up my glue. You always want to shake up your glue for about 30 seconds to a minute, depending how long it's been sitting. I just always like to shake up my glue for a very, very long time just to make sure that it's all, well shaken. I'll make another video on how glue works. But for this video, we're just going to get it shaken up, about 2 drops into the glue ring. And that's just going to be, our practice for today. So here we go. On my right hand side, sorry, my left hand came on my right for my left today. On my right hand side, we're just gonna go ahead and take that strip, and this is gonna be my handmade fan strip. So I'm just gonna place it onto my lash tile there, and then I'm just gonna take my rapid fan so you guys can see the side-by-side difference, and I'm just gonna place it right above there on my tile, and then we can just see the the difference from handmade to rapid. Another thing I just like about rapid fans is it is easier, but again, the base can sometimes be a little bit too thick. So if you are a beginner, that's an issue for you, especially when you're doing isolation. You may not want it to be so thick if you can't get that pinch down. So me personally, I do deal with the handmade fans a lot more just because I can control the blossom of it, and I can also control the thinness of the base. And that's going to be the most important thing. Even though we are making fans, the fans that don't work for me is if my base is not thin. So let's just go ahead and take this off the strip here, and these come off. I know I'm a little bit out of angle, but I will fix that in just a minute and get back into angle. So what I did there is just did the pinching technique. I'll come back and show you guys again once I realize that it's out of angle, but I did the pinching technique, and then I just dipped it into the glue one time, and then so you can see how that base is thin, and that is perfect. That is what I'm looking for when I'm making my handmade fans, okay? Is a very thin base. If you do classics, you know that just how that base is thin with a classic lash, you want it to be thin with your fans, okay? And then I think I just messed up on that pull there, but it's okay. We live and we learn, not everybody's perfect. I don't get the perfect fan all the time. It's all good, y'all. So what I'm doing here is just getting a tight pull, ripping it off, not literally, but taking off the strip there. And then in between my fingers, I'm going to just go ahead a slight pinch, a very slight pinch. A lot of people like to rub their fingers together and, make this little like fire rub between their fingers and the fan. We want it to do all the work in the glue. We do not want our pinch to overtake what we have there. So that's why I did about 2 times, just so you guys can see that that pinch is just going to be to solidify it, and the glue is going to be to seal it, okay? So that was a pretty good fan. Probably not the best that I got out of this video today, but this is just for practice. I just wanted to show you guys the difference, especially side by side when we do make those handmade fans. So there we go. We got the second fan there. We're just going to take another slight pinch, all right? Tight on your tweezers. And it is kind of weird for me holding it up like this towards the camera. This is usually having to be sat down next to me. But I'm just to try my best. Tight pinch, pull towards your chest, and it should come off of that strip pretty easily. Okay, so there we have all the hairs lined up straight. Slight tad pressure in between your fingers. You do not want to overtake it, okay? There we go. We have that thin base. All right, I'm going to do it probably one more time just to make sure that the glue doesn't have to do so much work. Awesome. Okay, that's perfect. It should not need any more work besides getting sealed once you dip it into the glue. Okay, that is the most important thing. The glue is not there to help you, it's just there to seal it. Perfect. Lay that down, and again, we'll do it once more. And we have that there. Now, the thing when you're doing this pull method off the strip, a lot of people do struggle with it. You don't want to pull it too rough and you drag it. You just want to do like a snap. So what I'm showing you here is that pull should just be able to line up completely straight. A lot of people do it from the back with their fingers. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. But I'm just showing you that you can do it either way when you're going into the pinch. Okay, you can do it either way. Let's go ahead and just get that pull down straight. I think this is the one where I show you that you want it to be completely straight. No, this is not it, but it's okay. So we're just going to go ahead and do that pinch one more time, a little bit closer into the camera. Perfect. Dip it into the glue. Seal it. And if you was doing a real life person, you would just, go ahead and just place it onto the lash. I should have did this in the beginning. I think I did. I'm not too sure. But I'm just doing this again. Brushing through the lash strip because it is a difference when you don't brush it. I just like to make sure all the hairs are straight and aligned and not uneven. All right, so here we go. This is going to be our rapid fans. Our rapid fans is coming into play. As you can see, once I pull this off the strip, the adhesive is already bonded to the base of the lash. That means you don't have to do too much work, but you see how it starts to just already fan out? That is what the rapid fan is about. It's just already fanned out, but that base of the lash is just a little bit too thick. So what I'm going to do here again is the pinching technique. Sometimes it won't be so thin still. That's why I love my homemade fans, just because I can get it the thinnest possible. And it's just a little bit too much struggle once I do, I work with the rapid fans. It's just a little bit too much of a struggle. I just like to keep going. Again, once I get that pinch down pack, I will just go ahead and dip it in some glue and lay it back down. It was okay. It did take a little bit longer than if I was to make my homemade fan. But we'll show you again once more. All right, pull it off the strip. The pull is not the hardest part compared to the homemade fans. But when you do pull it, that base comes off in one motion. Again, if you're a beginner and you're having a hard time making your handmade fans and you feel like rapid fans is something that you lean towards, that's okay. I like to know both. I like to know all ways of making homemade and rapid fans, but at the same time, when you are doing your rapid fans, you want to make sure that that base is completely thin. Especially once you take it back out the glue, because sometimes I do see that it just opens back up at the base of it. So, teach his own. Like, find what works for you. Nothing's bad. Nothing is the right or the wrong way to do it. Just what works for you, and just making sure that once you get it, completely done with your fan, that when you go ahead and isolate it, that it's not a thick base. So that was pretty good. That one was okay. When I pulled it off, it didn't have that much of a struggle. I didn't have to pinch it too much. So some are good, some are bad. Not everybody makes the best fan on the perfect pull on the first pull. Sorry, but at this one, what I'm gonna show you here is how that base is a little bit like it's blossom, but the base is so thin that if I was to just go ahead and isolate it, you probably would just have a little bit of room between your next lash, but that's okay. That's okay. That fan would work. And just clean that up, especially when you're going back and forth from lash to lash. Just make sure that the strip is clean. You don't pull any extra hairs off. And then what I wanted to show you here is that sometimes people just take the fan, and I think this is a part. Yeah, some people just take the fan and just go ahead and already get it blossomed out. So what I'm doing is like a little wiggle before they pull it. So that means that you can just go ahead and get those fans blossomed out a little bit more with the wiggle technique, and then go ahead and pinch it again. I need a filling, y'all, so don't come for me with my nails. I do need a filling, but it's okay. So there we go. We're just gonna go ahead and get that sealed up. And that is probably the best one I did with the rapid fans. I love the wiggle technique. Like you can see, it just comes out a little bit more blossomed. But at the same time, either way works, depending if you're going for like a volume, a mega volume set, depending on how big you want your fans. Um, and in comparison, I believe the rapid fans is in a length 17 mm, and I want to say the handmade fans that I make is in a length 12 mm. And side by side, I just wanted to show you the difference as far as the handmade compared to the rapid fans. So please let me know in the comments below, what do you guys prefer? What do you guys like? Do you like rapid fans more? Do you like homemade fans more? And the rapid ones can either be called rapid, fast making, fast fanning. There's a lot of names for rapid fans. I just call them the rapid fans, obviously, or some people call them easy fans. Now, what I'm showing you here is this fan that had a little tiny hair come down from it. Now, necessarily, if I was to be in a lash set, I sometimes won't use those type because it can just start poking and irritating their eye just because that little hair was hanging down. But if they do have a healthy, lengthy, natural lash, I'll probably just slightly put it right, like a little bit more above than I would normally. But that one that I showed you right here is the perfect way that you want your fans to look, base wise, completely thin, thinned out. No hair sticking around, but it depends on that client, um, the natural length, the length of their natural lashes. And again, on my right hand, we have our rapids, and then on my left side, we have our handmade. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on my Instagram at RoyQueenBeauty_.